Beautiful, beautiful. Walk Spirit, Talk Spirit, written by McCoy Tyner, and here on Mystic Journey by Azar Lawrence with Eddie Henderson and Gerald Hayes, Benito Gonzalez, and Esiet Okun Esiet, with a very special dedication to Rashid Ali. This recording is dedicated to the music and the memory of Rashid Ali. Just absolutely beautiful. Something so sweet. And a little something from our sister. We had the precious moment of speaking to Nana Camille Yarbrough, and she spoke of her song Elders, and I had time enough this morning, early in the morning, to find it in my library, and so I wanted to bring that to you a little bit.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Elders, we see you walking down the street with work-worn hands and with weary feet. We hear your wisdom lift a child or a crowd from confusion up to standing proud. You've carried us, oh yes, you still inspire, lifting us higher, higher, higher and higher. And every time we think of what you've come through, sweet elders, we're so very proud. Elders, we're so proud of you. Elders, we're so proud, one more time, of you. Elders, 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 we're so proud of you. Elders, oh, elders, we're so proud. You did for us the very best you could. If you couldn't see a better day, you worked so we would. You worked for something you could pass along, some kind of wisdom that would make us strong. Now time goes by and you are elder old, yet your joys, pains, and victories have never been told. So we hope you remember for the rest of your days that we love you and will forever, forever sing your praise. Elders, we're so proud. Elders, elders, we're so proud, so proud of you. For those times when you had to bow to make way for us to stand. For those times when all you could do was put it in God's hands. For those times when you said yes and sacrificed when you wanted to say no. For those times when you stood up when the world told you take low. For those times you laughed in public and went home and cried. For those times when you lived and worked and loved when it seemed the whole world wished you had died. Oh, elders, oh, elders, we're so proud. For those times when you took less so we could take more. For those times when you told us, keep yourself clean, learn even though you're poor. For dancing your dances and shouting your shouts. For keeping them and caring what they were all about. For loving your children, for sending them to church and school. For teaching them the old time ways, the old time rules. For surviving and doing whatever you had to do. Every time we think of what you've come through, we have to say, elders, elders, we're so proud. Elders,
Nana Camille Yarbrough. We're going to make this a national anthem for sure. And Nana Camille Yarbrough's Ancestor House, including live performances from Joe's Pub at the Public Theater. And I am on with my big brother who has paved the way for even me to walk. And good morning, Kenny Spiderweb. How are you?
Good morning, dear. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I'm having a blast, and I think I discovered what it is that was motivating you all those days in radio, my brother.
You have?
I think I have.
Let's see if it was the same motivation I know I have. Go ahead. Let me know what it was.
It's the spirit of the music. It is the spirit that drives the music and makes it so phenomenal. And it has gotten inside of me, and I'm just all new.
Well, I'm glad you opened my eyes to that. For the longest time, I thought it was Sunrise Federal Mortgage and Saving, Suffolk County Water Department, the Long Island Lighting Company, various insurances, and school lunches. That's what I thought motivated me, but you've opened my eyes to a greater level.
Whoa, Ken Spiderweb.
You've opened my eyes to a greater level, and I can see it clearly.
Okay, you see it clearly. Now. Wow, I'm telling you. Well, you know what, let me tell you, we would never have known that there was any other motivation except us when we listened to you on radio.
Yes, well, I really appreciate what you're saying. I guess the older you get and the more you look back on things that you've done, you kind of really think that somehow or other you were guided to do certain things,
yes,
and your heart moved you to do certain things. And I'm glad I can look back and be kind of satisfied with most everything that was done.
Yes,
and that's why I wanted to do what I can to share today's activities over there at the Langston Hughes Library.
I'm so
it's
happy.
Kind of it touches me a little bit because my wife is from Corona.
Oh.
She's grew up just about 2 or 3 blocks from that the library there, and I was also married just about 2 blocks away from there.
Really?
Yeah. So It's always good coming back to the old area. It brings a lot of good memories.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Me and my wife, anyway.
Yes.
And there's going to...
Say your wife's name.
My wife's name is Teresa.
Okay.
Teresa, she was... lived at 9805 Northern Boulevard. I forgot the phone number that used to be. I knew it by heart at one time. But, she's from Corona.
Mm-hmm.
And just sadly, her sister passed away this past Tuesday.
Oh.
And so we're kind of mourning things here,
yes,
but we have good memories. It was a good family.
Mm-hmm.
She came from a good family, and she's also been pinnacle in my family here.
Right.
And she's done quite a bit. But anyway, we're having the 45th anniversary celebration cultural arts presentations. And this is poetry and storytelling, and I always did love poetry and reading. My mother, as a young guy, my mother encouraged me to read, mm-hmm, and it was just part of what I did, to read and to type. My mother taught me typing. And so
wow,
when I saw...
That was smart.
When I saw the agenda here, talking about the poetry, Langston Hughes, and also the writer here, I don't know her. I'm looking forward to meeting her, mm-hmm, Beverly Willis.
Okay.
Because she has some really great poems. And I found... Hold on one second. Let me just get this frog out of my throat. He's been here all morning. Hold on a second. All right, he's gone.
Oh, good. When you sound wonderful. There was a poem that
she wrote that, and there's a number of them that I saw, one called Hey Daddy. I think that's really good. But mm-hmm, there's one poem here that really touched my heart as I went through all of them. And I wonder if it'd take a couple of seconds if I could read it for you.
Oh, I would love to have you read poetry.
Oh, yes. This is something I used to do. I used to put my headphones on and play music, and then read along with jazz music. I would have music in the background.
That
kind of helps you. It's a simple exercise I've found that improves your reading because you have to utilize speech qualities. And as you know, the three elements of speech are pitch, pace, and power.
Well,
and
I didn't know
when you read with music, you kind of have to follow. You have to let the music lead you as you read.
Okay.
You don't read and have the music follow you. You follow the music, and this gives you the exercise. It gives you exercise in reading for poetry.
Oh.
And so here we go. No music, but I'm going to give you this. Her poem is called One. O-N-E.
Yes.
And it goes like this. He is an audience of one, no longer able to participate in the creative adventures or impulsive decisions that often delivered the excitement he craved. His unabridged thoughts and ideas still crowd his mind, unable to be developed or ever completed. Though his heart may be filled with love and generosity, right now he's unable to display what he may actually feel. His life's journey took a different path, changing direction without warning, without a chance for him to finish his sentence. I, too, am an audience of one, who still embraces him with my love. And I am one who will be listening if ever he has something to say.
How beautiful. Ken Spiderweb delivering Beverly Willis's poem, One. And Beverly Willis is going to be at the Langston Hughes Library today.
Yes. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing her.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And giving her my thoughts on the various poems that she has. She has another one, Invitation, Improvement, and that Hey Daddy, that makes me cry every time. You see, I have 4 girls.
Oh.
So 4 girls and a set of twins. So and the girls came first. Okay. So I'm kind of pro girls, you know. I mean, it was nothing like Daddy's little girls, you know.
Hooray!
And I just have so much fun with them. Now they're adults, and it's even more fun because now they have their own ideas and thoughts, and they kind of help train me.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they take over now. They're my additional counsels. One of them is my.
That's right.
She's like a therapist, you know. I sit down and I say, "Okay, Terry, what do you want me to do? What should I do?" And she comes up and with great answers. But anyway, these poems written by her, I'm really looking forward to talking to her about it.
I'm looking forward to the whole program. I think it's wonderful. I'm not sure that I can get out there, but I know that there's family listening here now who are going to be able to get out there.
Oh,
and
sure.
Maybe you have the coordinates for it.
Yeah, it's on Northern Boulevard, number 1 location.
Okay.
And there's going to be naturally poetry reading. There's going to be some spoken word, film screenings, special presentations. It's going to begin at 12 o'clock and go all the way down to 5. I'm going to have to get there about 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And at that particular time, there'll be the agenda calls for literary presentations and meeting of the various ones that'll be there. I'm looking forward to the musical presentation, too. There's going to be...
Do you know who's playing?
Let's see. There's going to be... Let me get my papers together here.
Absolutely.
There we go. Neil Clark Trio plus one.
Go on now.
Going to be there. And also One Sun Lion Ra.
The One Sun Lion Ra. That's
the hip-hop's. He'll have hip-hop and spoken word artist.
Yes.
Fire in the Sky.
That's Lou Wilson's son from Nashville.
That's right.
Oh,
so I'm looking forward to meeting him because his dad and I have worked together at various times back in the day.
Oh, how wonderful!
So it's going to be good to to see him.
I'm so proud. And I know Nana Camille Yarbrough is going to be there.
Yes.
Imhotep Gary Bird, your buddy.
Yeah, Gary. Gary's a wonderful guy. You know, although I'm older than Gary, Gary's he's like my big brother, believe it or not, because he was into radio when it was unheard of to have a young black male involved in radio and being so young, 13, 14, 15 years old, something.
Unheard of.
When he got into radio, he had to be tutored, you know what I mean, for his regular schooling.
Oh.
He was so young.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. And he by the time he got down here to WWRL in New York, he was off and running with that GBE.
Yes.
And I mean, Gary was just out there.
Yeah, he was.
I looked at Gary back in the day. I would look at him and I'd say, "Oh man, I'm scared of him," because Gary always loved people. He's a people person. He has wonderful perception of people and things and directions, and he's always been steady. And he's still out there doing what he needs to be doing.
That's right.
And that is leading the way.
Yeah.
And I really like Gary. He's a wonderful guy, and he's been kind of a industry mentor for me.
Oh, that's really swell. Yeah, I would say he was a mentor for me in education, because the education of us by him, of our history, and the guests that he would present, and Dr. Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark, and Professor Dr. Ben, Yosef Yakinin, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, and all of those, just extraordinary information that you don't get in school, you know, unless you are majoring in Africana studies or African American studies, something to that effect, and you get a list of these great works that these gentlemen taught. And so Gary Imhotep would present this for us, and we swelled with pride.
Yes. Gary once called me on the phone, and you know, naturally, when one of your radio colleagues call you, you begin to talk about radio. But Gary had something else on his mind. I'm still trying to figure out what it was. But anyway, Gary says, "Ken?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I got a question to ask," and he asked me a question. I forgot what it was. And he said, and I answered him, and and I asked him, and I came back with another question. Well, Gary, what whatever it was. And Gary took me to the stratosphere. I still can't remember what Gary was talking about.
You know, that reminds me.
And I said, "Where was Gary? Must have been out somewhere near Mars, or he was out there. The GBE, the Gary Bird Experience."
That's right.
He's always been able to open up an eye.
Oh, that's just so phenomenal, you know. And our conversation, thanks to Sandra Trim DaCosta, with Ralph McDonald. McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah.
And I got to tell you, it was really eye-opening. That was a wonderful eye-opening experience to talk about the Teen Summit and his history, his legacy, his contribution to our empowerment and to our vision. So much creativity. So many inventions, so many patents. And my goodness, Kenny, you're included in that in terms of your engineering and ingenuity.
Yes, it's just something that we do. It's the way the flow is. For example, we're working on a documentary. We'll cover this in depth in another time, but we're working on a documentary that includes the last 60 years, 70 years of black radio in New York City.
Wow.
And Gary has been a major part of it. Also, in fact, you can go to the website Behind the Mic, M-I-C, Behind the Mic, and on the set.com. Anyway, it gives a chronology of who, what, where, when, and how black radio took place from the 1930s.
Right.
Gary has been a very major part of it, in what he has been able to glean and explain to the camera. This is a video series, documentary series put together by Mike Burrell. And also McDaniels has been instrumental too, because of his work and what he did. Mm-hmm. And, you know, at the time it just looks like it seemed to be just doing what we were moved to do. And when you look back on it, you can see how important it was. Mm-hmm. And reviewing all of the stories and the pictures and what videos we have and sound clips, we put it all together in such a way so as it's really educational, because it definitely, if you're in the media, definitely will help us to see where we came from and how the industry developed. And that's the same thing with what we're dealing with today. It's looking back, looking at us now, and also looking at the future, what it holds for us in the literary field. And
there's such promise. There's such promise for us, and it's a great way to acknowledge our creativity, our ingenuity, and to encourage us, no matter what our age is, right, to produce and document our stories. You know. Yeah. It's really great.
Another thing that's encouraging for us for today's events, mm-hmm, is, we live in a digital world, mm-hmm, very visual world. Everything is right in front of us on our cell phones and so forth. And what today is like a refreshing break, because we concentrate on the literary aspect of this media, where we actually stop. We don't write, and we're not reading or writing text messages. We're reading the thoughts of people who are conveying our certain attitudes and thinking about things, and that's, mm-hmm, why poetry is so nice. It's like a refreshing break, because now I'm not reading an email, I'm not reading a text, mm-hmm, I'm not watching video. I am using my mind, mm-hmm, to read and take in my mind, and we can be benefited so much. It's like reading the Bible, The Bible is a book from God, right? And it's a book that we can read and we reason on it, mm-hmm, and it can shape our lives. Many people have found that to be so. And it's poetry, mm-hmm, there's drama, there's counsel, there's history, and it takes our mind, and what we read and think about becomes part of us. Mm-hmm. And it shapes our life so that we can have respect for women, respect for our parents, respect for our children, our neighbor, and so forth. So it's a refreshing break to read, and I like the idea of encouraging our young people to use that facet of their qualities, their faculties, because it'll help shape them to be better people. And that's what our obligation is.
Our obligation. That's our purpose. If we didn't know what our purpose was, I think Ken Spiderweb, you have very eloquently helped us to have a vision, an appropriate vision. And I want you to take this moment to say good morning to one of our sponsors and supporters, and a beautiful sister who always listens, and now she gets to come and share some of her history with us. This is Marilyn Jennings Ramos. Meet Dr. Kenny Spiderweb.
Wow, doctor. Wonderful. Gee. Listened to him for many years.
That's right.
Hello, Miss Ramos. Glad to meet you.
And peace and blessings to you also, Dr. Webb.
Wow. Dr. Webb. Don't let my daughter hear me. Hear that? You know what the kids say? Oh, you're not no doctor. You daddy.
That's right. That's what they say.
I can imagine.
That's right. You the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. But to me, you're daddy. I can certainly relate to that. I really can. And then we're also called by another joined by another caller. Good morning and welcome to the conversation here in the Gardens of Tranquility.
Blessings. My Savior is an amazing representation of life.
Oh.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
I have to do this. My name is Jay Smiley Cat. I want to throw Alma John's name into the atmosphere.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I will have to call you Dr. Kim Spiderweb, because when you came to the elements at that time, it was time for a change, or an upgrade of sorts. And me being, I think I'm older than all y'all. So,
Brother Smiley now.
I'm older than all y'all. But anyway, I would say I had trouble being a radio person. My mother would say, turn it there. I would turn it down. You couldn't get me away from the radio.
The radio was the soundtrack to our lives. Smiley, I have to say that your sound is muted. Are you talking directly into your mouthpiece there on the phone?
Yes.
Because normally you sound very clear.
All right. That could be because I'm in another location, and it's a room location, and the computer is on in the back. So would that be there and interfering?
It's a little bit better. Kenny, can you hear?
Yeah, I can barely hear Jake down there.
Okay.
But I am going to have to run right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because I want to be able to get over to the library on time.
But you were going to mention
the pastor told me to be there on time.
You were going to mention something about the Teen Summit.
The who?
Teen Summit.
Let's see. What's that? Let's see, the Teen Summit.
Yes, sir.
I don't have information on it.
I'm going to find the information.
I don't have details on it.
Okay, I'm going to find the details.
I wanted to briefly just ask them.
Thank you, Kenny.
Alma John have on his right. That's what I wanted to get out.
Alma John. Oh yes. Just briefly before I go.
Okay.
Alma John was a person that my mother used to listen to her on the air.
Wow.
And was very much a fan of hers and listen. And I think that's one of the things that initiated my mother when I became a teenager and I'm getting around doing things that helped me to respect women. My mother always told me, she says, you're going to do well with women. I said, oh, really? She said, yes. And she said, because you're very comfortable around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that meant that what being comfortable around women and listening to them and showing them respect and so forth, that was the lesson. I think Alma John was very much influential. Her and another woman who was an artist, maybe many of you have seen a caricature of me that was drawn by one of my mother's best friends, who also was in the media. She was a writer and an illustrator for the U.S. Army.
Wow.
And these two women, I don't know whether my mother wanted to be like them or not, but she was able to benefit from a lot of the conversation that she had with them. My mother would be one who would call up Alma John on the air and talk about one thing or another. At the time, that didn't interest me, but it had a profound effect upon me through my mother.
Obviously.
So, she's also a part of our documentary, and we've spent quite a bit of time on talking about her. And there's some other aspects about this thing. I don't want to take up too much time with it, but just go to the website and you can see about it. It's called Behind the Mic, MIC, and ontheset.com. And you can get an overview of what it is, and I think there's a trailer up there that talks about it. But I am going to have to run, Daia.
Okay, all right, my dear.
Miss Ramos and Jake, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much, and God bless you and your family.
That's right. I agree.
That you might get into, because you are a wonder. Like I said, you came at that time, right. So you are in my spirit.
It's true, Kenny, and you're in our spirit too. You did that for us, and I'm so proud of all of you. And I can't tell you what it means to have you with me, and I really do thank you. It's absolutely marvelous to understand that you're all just such genius. it's such endeavor to fill us and fill our lives, and you spend so much of your lives doing that. Smiley as a supporter and a sponsor, and and Sister Marilyn Jennings Ramos, as a supporter and just a wonderful, wonderful being. And I'm so glad you came to visit us. I'm going to bring up this little sound of elders momentarily, and we're going to be joined by Okaru Hoshino Lovelace too.
I see you, we see you,
Oh, she's coming too?
Yeah, sometimes you got a stick, sometimes you got a cane, but you're just making it. You're making it on. Yeah, thank you, elders. Don't think we don't know. Don't think we're not grateful. We're grateful to you. Thank you, elders. You're the strong ones. You're the ones who brought us this far. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mystic Journey. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you, Ken Spiderweb, for joining us here in the Gardens of Tranquility and Contemplation. That was enormous to be able to talk to you. I just want to remind our family of a new Federal Theater production in conjunction with our brothers and sisters Adamola Olugbefola and Vosa Rivers, and Woody King Jr. is directing The Fabulous Miss Marie. Okay, and it's running now at the Castillo Theater at 543 West 42nd Street, and I want you to call the box office and make arrangements for your tickets. You can call 212-941-1234. That's 212-941-1234. And there's a couple of other things that I'm going to have the pleasure of alerting you to. It's a great thing to have this computer system up and available to us. But sometimes it gets stuck and it makes our music stick. And, there's nothing much that we can do about that. But that's okay. We've got information that really does make the difference. And we were talking about Ralph McDaniels earlier. And he's the one who is doing the Teen Summit. And he wants to hear from young people. So today from 1 to 5 at Brooklyn Borough Hall in Brooklyn, they are going to have the Teen Summit and Leaders of Tomorrow Brooklyn. And it's going to be an open forum. Your issues mean something to us, and we want to help to develop leadership to address them. Eric Adams is going to be participating in it, borough president elect, and we're really very happy to bring the forum to the forefront, the Teen Summit, because our youth are really where it's at. We want them to learn, we want them to have respect, but we've got to respect them too, because they are leaders of tomorrow. And so Leaders of Tomorrow Brooklyn, okay, the first stop in the journey is today at 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. at the Brooklyn Borough Hall. And let me just say, I have got my family in the house with me today, okay? So we're going to delve into our conversation. And I am so excited to have Marilyn here, Marilyn Jennings Ramos. We're doing something very special in honor of this musical format we call jazz, something that I was captured by because of my mom and dad and what they played, and then I just kind of like commandeered my daddy's kind of blues CD, and it's been in my life ever since. And when we talk about UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, and the UN celebrating, honoring, and proclaiming April 30th, the International Jazz Day, it's an honor to the music that we created in this world. And I want to give honor to your father for playing a very special role, Marilyn. You have to introduce him to the family. First, welcome to our air,
Thank you. It's a pleasure, more than a pleasure, to be here.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm here also to represent, like you said, the International Jazz Day. It would be my first participation in it. Unfortunately, I missed the other 2 or 3. But my father, Richard Jennings, he was born in Harlem. He served in the 369th in Harlem with with honorable discharge, and he worked at the United Nations for over 30 years, something to do with foreign liaison, something he always told us it was too complicated for us to understand when we were growing up. So
what a tale. Wow, fascinating.
Him and Bill Dixon, another co-worker at United Nations, started the United Nations Recreation Council Jazz Society in 1959, and they exposed a lot of jazz artists to the community, internationally and nationally, and in the urban community.
That's wonderful.
And I have a lot of my father's books and pamphlets, albums, music, and everything, and I just want to share a couple of lines. For instance, in The World of Jazz, published in the United Nations in 1990, an evening of jazz for Jennings. This is when my father retired. And one paragraph reads, "The musical essence of that evening was provided by none other than Richard's dear and very close friend, pianist Randy Weston, accompanied by his African Rhythms Ensemble, Ahmad Abdul Malik, Big Black, Alex Blake, Talib Kabli, I think TK?
Talib Kibwe?
Yes.
Yes, TK Blue.
TK Blue,
yes. Bill Saxton, and another dear friend of Richard's, and our former UN colleague, vocalist Ruth Brisbane, belted out some tunes which would have you rise to your feet.
Wow.
And I remember I didn't actually like jazz until I was close to 30. I was raised in the house constantly.
Yes.
Even though my mother and father separated, my father lived in the East Village. He went all over the place. And another issue was the 25-year anniversary of the Jazz Society at the United Nations, and this paragraph reads, Downbeat published in this article, American jazz is now being heard on international territory right in the heart of New York City. Once a week, these warm summer days are relieved by cool sounds emanating from a room in the UN building where members of the United Nations Jazz Society hold their weekly luncheon devoted to the playing of jazz records. And also they had discussions and panel discussions and music, and I found it very interesting. I just want to share that with you.
Well, I'm just absolutely fascinated and honored and pleased. I can't tell you how happy I am that, you have come to share this, and, we'll talk more about the United Nations Jazz Society that your father founded with Bill Dixon. This is a wonderful moment in our history.
It is.
And we get to lift it with you, and you have lifted us all along. I mean, for, the 10 or so years that I've been around here, I have to say that consistently you have supported us, been there for us, encouraged us, just give us great shout outs on Facebook. It encourages us to do what it is that we do, because this is truly a labor of love. Yes. And I'm so glad that Whcr, Marilyn.
Yes. His father was, I used to live in East Village, living across the street from my apartment.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm very honoring Dr. Randy Worston. Mm-hmm. Your father was one of the best friend of Randy.
Oh, that's incredible.
And he told me what your father have been down for jazz in the UN. And yes, so I'm really honoring.
Oh, that's really wonderful.
See you here.
So now we get to lift this International Jazz Day in Harlem.
Yes.
And Whcr is going to be one of our ambassadors. Marilyn's going to be there on Wednesday at the Whcr. We want to acknowledge the contribution that Harlem has given to jazz all along the way, and that's going to be very unique. So it'll be from 6:30 to 9:30, and it's just it's going to be a very special thing. Shamira Mighty, a very young Japanese vocalist, is also invited, thanks to Yohei and Cliff Frazier. She's going to be performing there too. So you two ladies are going to have the stage, and then Tyrone Burkett is going to do his Emancipation suite with his wife, and I'm just so excited about all of this. It's really absolutely incredible opportunity. And Marilyn has shared with us Rites of Passage, Jackie McLean Quintet with Renee McLean. What's your favorite song on this?
That's one of my father's CDs.
Oh,
I
yeah?
had to pick out. Yes.
Oh, you did? You had to pick out?
Yes. Jackie McLean is one of my favorite artists, along with Johnny Griffith. Giant Steps is my classic.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm going to try something that I often get a chance to play, but not often enough. It's called Morning Prayer. And that would just simply be a sweet pleasure, I think that's the way to do it. And then we're going to have some more conversation with some very special guests joining us this morning.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Doesn't that sound like a little bit of Africa? It is what it's supposed to be. It's Rites of Passage. It's the title track for Jackie McLean. And Antoine Roney is in the studio with us with his beautiful wife, Neil Love, and his wonderful son, Kojo Odu Roney. First of all, let me express from me and the family our condolences. You've had a transition, and we honor the life. We honor the life when it transitions into its other forms, and we embrace you all with love and caring and all those things. So from Sandra Trim DaCosta, ourselves, we just have a big hug for you, a big loving hug for you, your family, for Wallace Roney and Antoine Roney and Neil Love. Gosh, I finally got y'all in this. Please meet Okaru Lovelace and Marilyn Jennings Ramos, and this is Marilyn's CD playing from her father's collection, who was Richard Jennings, the founder of the UN Jazz Society. And Whcr is going to be one of our hosts at the Dwyer on Wednesday, and, we'll be there 6:30 to 9:30 if you all can swing by. I know you got a late set.
We have a late set
at Minton's.
Minton's, yeah.
Yeah, I just dropped Mr. Persons a note. I'm so proud of what they're doing over there,
Yeah.
And I just bumped into Kenneth Adams, one of the supporters from the Empire State Development Corporation.
Wow.
Yeah, of Minton's, So my hat's off to you playing we want to support that also.
Mm-hmm.
We support Minton's and Jenny's, and we're honoring all of our institutions that have brought our music, have sustained us. Yeah. It's so critical. But this song, Rites of Passage, the Jackie McLean, is it quartet?
But this is I think, this should be a quintet. Yes, a quintet.
Okay. And you had this wonderful story you were sharing with me, Antoine.
But Jackie McLean, Dolly McLean, they're like my parents. They pretty much raised me from the age of 18 to maybe around 26, or until now, really.
Incredible.
Jackie McLean, I was the first scholarship student at the University of Hartford in 1981, and from that point on, he was my teacher, like my father, and everything that he could be for me. Gave me a lot of information on the music, how to live through the music, how to hear the music, and all kinds of things. We used to go into the. I used to live next door to him. He would come and knock on my door, and I had my saxophone. He said, "No, just leave the case," and we'd walk across the street. There's a park across the street, and then we would go through the park and up the hill, and we'd be on top of this hill, and he'd play a note and stop, and then we'd hear the note echo throughout the city of Hartford, Connecticut. He said, "Sometimes I try to play to see if Dolly can hear it," but we would play up there, and he would say, "Well, right now we're healing all the people that need to be healed in the area of, when the sound travels." So, we used to, but then on the way back, we'd go back to the place, and he'd see all these dogs, and he would get dog food and feed the dogs in the park,
Wow.
Jackie was an interesting guy.
That is such a spiritual endeavor. That's just absolutely amazing. Something has taken hold of me here with Gardens of Tranquility and Contemplation, and Tariq's great gift to me and to us, and it is the consistent theme of healing and our music as a healing force. So for you to bring this particular consciousness is just so important. Thanks for joining the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. And actually, I'm not joining the conversation. I have a request, a favor. Did Antoine Roney make it up to the studio?
He's right here listening to you right now.
Oh, Antoine. How you doing? My timing couldn't be any better. How you doing?
Couldn't be any better. I'm okay.
And Tariq, I want you to say good morning to Whcr.
Hi. Whcr.
Yes.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Tariq's on. and I'll say good morning to Marilyn Jennings Ramos. Tariq.
Marilyn Jennings Ramos.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, indeed. Good. Let's see. Pull that a little closer to you. What number is that? It's number 3. Number 3 is up. Okay. And say good morning to Kojo and Nia Love.
Good morning, Kojo. I've been hearing good things about your drumming.
Did you hear that comment he made to you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Sister Nia, I know you're still as beautiful as the last time I saw you.
He says that you are still as beautiful as the last time he saw you. And it is true.
Thank you.
Indeed.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know, and we're going to get a report on some of Nia's journeys. And we're just having a sweet conversation about healing, Tariq. And
okay, and I'm getting ready to go in here and get healed. I'm down at the Integral Yoga Institute.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
For the workshop is One Truth, Many Paths.
Yes. That's the truth, and here we are fully representing it too.
Yeah,
big time. That's exactly what we are doing.
Antoine, do you have any new disc out?
Well, I have a lot of recordings. Actually, if we can set up something to hear some of the things that me and Kojo have been doing.
Okay.
But I have it on the iPod. I don't have it on the disc. But I'm getting ready to put something out this year. We're working on recording.
Yeah, I missed you at the Zinc Bar.
Oh yeah, that was a great performance.
I'm sure.
Which one we did?
Beat.
There was one we did with Buster Williams and the harpist Brandy Younger. And then the second one recently we did it with the group that I have with Rashawn Carter on bass and William Spaceman Patterson on guitar.
Okay.
So maybe if we can get the thing set up here, we could. I have some of studio versions of some of the things we've.
Okay.
Been working on. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see you, branching out on your own a little more.
Yeah.
I do have a disc that you gave me when you came up to the studio. You did the artwork too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kojo, do you do artwork too?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I draw a lot.
Okay.
I make little people about this size.
Very nice.
And what else? I make bows for my arrow.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Yes, indeed.
And yeah.
Well, if you take a bow and arrow and shoot it into the universe, it can
coming down somewhere.
It can touch a wishing star, Tariq. It can touch a wishing star, and that's what we're going to play, Flame of Wishing Star, as a tribute to the people. And Whcr, this is your cue. You get to tell exactly the background of the song.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. This song has a lot of meaning. It's called Flame of Wishing Stars.
Yes.
I didn't know that flame from Hiroshima bomb is still kept in Hoshino village in Japan as a peace flame. But the guy, Mr. Yamamoto, when he brought the flame, he kept flame for every day with the hate. But then after the years of the experience, he asked himself one day, if he has so much hating in his heart, how come world can be peace? So then he changed his attitude and he started going to school because young people going to keep the peace. So he started talking how horrible war is to the young people to pass on. So I wrote about this song as a hopefully if as many people can carry this peace flame, and that's why I'm singing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then I like to perform on the International Jazz Day.
Yes.
Oh,
that'll be our pleasure. Certainly it will. Whcr has kindly consented to be one of our volunteers and help us. And,
thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah. No, it's really a pleasure. It's it's working together. It's really building the family and bridging the alliances. And it's just a proud thing that we do. So take a listen for a moment, folks.
満天に輝く天の川の星たちが何億光年の時を超え今私たちにささやくなぜ人は傷つけ合うの繰り返す悲しみに星たちの涙が君の頬濡らし星の川となるあの朝すべてを変えた激しい光と音その瞬間に時計は時を止めたまま人も鳥も街も緑もすべてが炎の海に飲まれた星の涙は命の川となり大きな海の波となり遥か異国へと続く愛となった街にそっと息を吹きかけた君の魂が蘇るように小さな炎が揺れるもう人は争いをやめる時が来ていると灯火に願いを込めてこの世さあた君の祈りはすべての記憶とともに星たちに見守られ今もなお炎の中に燃え続け白い鳩が平和の手紙を世界の子供たちに けるよもしも地球の一人一人が
Miss Whcr Lovelace, Miss Whcr Hoshino. Lovelace. I hear you say the word Hoshino in this story. Yes. And this beautiful song that you're singing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. You are a wonderful classical singer as well as jazz vocalist.
Oh, thank you.
You know.
Yeah, Hoshi in Japanese is stars. So always, since my last name, stars is like my protection. And also this song is wishing for, if all over the world, each one pray to the stars.
Yes.
Maybe star will make our wish come true. That's the song about.
Oh, that's very, very, very poetical. Very beautiful. We will be so honored to have it performed for our guests from Hiroshima.
Yes.
And the Hiroshima Peace Cultural Foundation.
Yes.
Will be in attendance. And, our local folks and jazz enthusiasts.
Yes.
Jazz lovers, we honor the institutions that have carried the legacy.
Yeah.
And the continuation of the legacy around the world. International Jazz Day.
Yes. So exciting. Like you said, the jazz is a universal language.
Yes.
Yes.
But I didn't say it. Herbie Hancock said it.
Herbie Hancock said it. Yes.
Yes, indeed. He and Irina Bokova, the secretary, the general executive of the UNESCO, when they declared the 30th of April International Jazz Day, it was in keeping with the tradition that Marilyn's dad had created at the United Nations Jazz, creating the United Nations Jazz Society, not just at it, but Richard Jennings creating it, and quite a legacy, lot to talk about. I have to take a look at some of your memorabilia that you have brought to share with us also. This is just wonderful. I'm so proud, So these are the torches and the arrows that we have made to pass on to Kojo Oduroni. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. I'm glad. Yes, I hear you're doing wonderful things.
Yeah, a lot.
Yes. You got stars in your eyes, darling. That's great. Yeah, no, that's true. A lot of wonderful things. And I'm really, really happy about that. And Dad's going to tell me the story about how this came into its evolvement. Your son just evolving into this great artist. Just like Dad.
And his mother.
That's right.
My wife.
Absolutely.
Kojo, well, when, I guess, he was hearing the music and feeling the vibrations in Nia's stomach.
That's right.
And when he was born, because she was traveling a lot back and forth to Smith College teaching there.
Okay.
And she was teaching, dance there, and she was teaching the African dance class, and after he was, after he was born, she would sit him next to the drums. So I can't take all the credit for his vision, but he just had the vision. I mean, from the beginning, we
had the spirit.
We used to drive in the car, and he would, like children do, would imitate the drums when the drums would play when I put on the music, and it was, Tony Williams, one of Tony Williams' recordings, but I was watching him, and he was actually transcribing because he was doing the foot, the bass drum parts and everything, and I knew the song, so I saw what he was doing in his car seat. Yeah. So I said, "Oh, okay. Let me get a drum." Like we'd be in the car, and he'd be, the driver's seat would become the bass drum. So he's kicking my So boom, boom, boom. I say, wait a minute, he's doing it right on the beat. He's actually playing. It was pretty difficult, music. So I got him a drum set, and the rest was history.
Oh my God!
I answered his questions, and I've been able to have experienced a lot of great drummers. So I was able to answer the questions and tell them things. It's usually by stories. I didn't really sit down and teach him, although it is a teaching. And then between me and my brother got him on some things because he played with Tony Williams and Art Blakey and those guys.
Oh, he did. Did Wallace Ronley played with Tony Williams?
Oh, yeah, for about 10 years.
Oh.
He was when Tony Williams first came back playing jazz. Mm-hmm. The first jazz band that he had was with my brother. And then after Miles passed, they did the tribute to Miles with Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, and Tony. So the rest of Tony's life.
Is that this one?
86. I think that one I'm actually on now.
Yeah, you are actually.
No, that's
on
a different one. That's a
okay.
No, it's called the Tribute to Miles.
Oh, okay, because this one is a tribute to Miles too.
Yeah,
this is endless.
But the band was called the Tribute to Miles.
Oh, the band. Okay.
And they won a Grammy for the recording.
Excellent.
And so he spent from '86 until Tony's path. He was very close. Tony's best friend. And so if I can't answer some questions, I said, go ask your uncle. And he helps, help his development also.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Tyreek, are you still there? Oh, I think Tyreek had to go to his class, but that's okay. We'll have another conversation with him and another opportunity to bring him in to bring some of that great wisdom that he has along the way. But I'm certainly glad to hear these stories. These are rare stories, and this sharing is a light, Kojo, a light in our path. Because this helps us to see how to do what it is that we want to do to help and give the path to our children as well, our children and grandchildren and all. And I'm going to take this opportunity to play a little something from your website. And Kojo Odu Roni on the drums with Mr. Antoine Roni. Reading the credits here. That is amazing. That is just simply amazing. That is, we give you a round of applause. You're welcome.
That's amazing for a 9-year-old, huh?
Well, can we give Brother Antoine Roney a round of applause also?
Yeah.
Oh, Antoine. Very deep, very deep. My God. So tell me, Kojo. This is your moment, and you can tell the family here in the Gardens of Tranquility and Contemplation at WHCR a little bit about how you feel about drumming and about music.
Well, one thing, like all the greats said, like Art Blakey would say, the drums will heal you, and that's actually true, because when I get sick and I have headaches and stuff like that, I just go practice and I start feeling better. And then I start listening to loud music, and Mommy's like, "Why are you listening to loud music? Doesn't your head hurt?" And all that stuff. And when I play, I feel connected to spirits, and
that's good.
And connected to the band too, because most of the time, how we sometimes talk is play music, and we also kind of use sign language while we play to each other. But to see where the music is, we got to use something that we know, but at the same time we know about music.
It's a very special language, and you are communicating with that language very effectively. And it's the spirit of each of us that speaks that language without speaking through our mouths. You know, we communicate with one another, but musicians do it more than anybody else.
Well, you know, Kojo, you should. One time he told me that when he practiced from when he was a little baby, he said that sitting next to him would be Elvin Jones and Tony Williams.
Yes. No. Up on the ceiling, they would sit upside down.
Yeah.
Elvin Jones and Tony Williams, and sometimes they would fuse together, and it would look like Tony, but it would look like Elvin. You're like, who's that?
Yeah.
But then sometimes when I play stuff that Tony played with Miles, Tony's face would turn young.
Yes.
But then when I play the stuff that he did later on, and he'll turn back older.
Oh yeah. They come in here too. When I play their music, they show up. You know, they do. The train shows up and it's got this wild music. It's like, you know, really hot. And Miles shows up and it's very serene and very spiritual. You know, it's really interesting. And because I don't know what's going to inspire me. I don't know. This was a great gift, but I love the music. I'm not a musician, and I don't know these songs. So what has come to me has had to have come through spirit. You know, it has to have. So you're right on, and you're right there, and you're perceiving correctly, and it's very good to walk. Some people say we walk with our ancestors, and we walk with our guardian angels, and we walk with, you know, the ones that have gone before, that have made it possible, and they help to inspire our inventiveness too. Yes, indeed. So it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely. So you have similar experiences there?
In the past, all kinds of experiences. That's another conversation.
Well, it just, you know, some people, it reads like an audio book. It speaks off of their body, you know, and you can feel and hear the presence of something very special with the connection to the beyond, and, you know, the creator and all. And I just appreciate it. I do. I appreciate you being able to share it, and you too being able to perceive it and share it. It's so wonderful. Oh yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us in this conversation here.
Peace and blessings, my sister. You blessed me twice in a row. But I really want to extend this greeting to Kojo and his son. Now, Kojo, you don't know me, you know my camera. But you might know me. My sister Elizabeth Scan, and I know you're familiar with her. I'm Brother Smiley. So at the Viv Awards, I think about 3 years off and on, I have taken your picture, and you have never gotten not one of them. So I want to make it known that, I do have your photos.
And so are you going to share those photos with us, Brother Smiley?
Sister Diane, I guess I have a bad habit. I like to take them. I don't like to do anything beyond that. I just want to have them.
A typical artist.
I'm beginning to collectively put them together because, I think it's been long enough. It's been 23 years since I've been following Whcr.org.
Yes, sir.
And, 23 years is a lot of footage that I have from 35 to digital.
Look at that.
I think it's about time that I begin to collect it in a way that I can now share it with the family, because we are leaving here one by one. And I don't know what my number is up. So, Kojo,
thank you.
I just want to extend that. And I am immensely blessed by what you have done with your child.
Yes, and that's to the brother Antoine and sister Nia, his parents.
Yeah, all right. Well, with the child, because we all represent children, no matter how old we are. But with the child, to have someone that they respect to give them guidance or prepare the way, it allows them to do that imagery what that young man is talking about. You have to see the image. See the word, feel the word, think the word. That is the process. So, whoever is issuing the guidance has done a marvelous job.
Marvelous.
He speaks the thought. He doesn't speak the words. He speaks the thought that is presenting the word. Beautiful. And that is that's the miracle of God. Only God can do that for you. You can't do that for yourself. You have to embrace that. So, I'm going to get off the air, but Sister Diane, also, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Listen, you deserve it. And, the wonderful job that you're doing here. And Tyreek, I know you're listening, or,
he's in his yoga class now, my brother.
Yeah, but, Tyreek has been an inspiration, and he delivered you, Sister Diane. You see how this thing goes?
I see.
He was an inspiration, and then he delivered you.
Yes.
All right? Deacon Watts was an inspiration. He delivered Mary Jefferson. He delivered Sister Cotton. You see, this is how this life goes. We follow our ancestry through those that lead us, and we continue that ancestry on to the young. And if we don't do that, we have failed this life.
Beautiful.
We have to give up ourselves. So,
thank you.
Bye-bye, and peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, Brother Smiley.
And to the young man, congratulations. You are the miracle of God.
Thank you.
That's so sweet and so beautiful. And we get to talk to your mom now for a moment. Tell me about your performance last night, Mrs. Nia Love.
Oh, well, I'm performing at a space in Brooklyn called BAX, Brooklyn Arts Exchange.
Yes.
I'm a second-year artist in resident there, which means that I'm able to realize work for 2 years. I'm able to every day go into a studio and realize the work. I think a lot of times as visual artists and dancers and musicians and thespians, all artists, singers as well, if they have an opportunity to work on an idea over and over and over again, they have an opportunity to expand on that idea. They have an opportunity to, as Brother Smiley said, to join forces with those ancestral energies, because they're every day meditating and realizing the connection, really stopping moments of time. So being able to have a space to do that in every day for a year has been brilliant. And so I am wonderful. Not by myself. I am joining forces with a young woman I'm 20 years her senior.
Wow.
Her name is Marjani Forte. She was with Urban Bush Women dance company, which is directed by Jawale Joe Zolar, an incredible African-American choreographer and who was my mentor when I was much younger. Marjani worked with them for 4 or 5 years, I do believe, and then after that she came in with me and we started a collective called Love Forte, a collective. And with Marjani and myself, we created an installation called Memory Withholdings. And it looks at the withholdings of a memory of African descendants in the body for generations and generations. So we're looking at transatlantic memories in the body through an installation and through dance and through music. And so we've changed this very small space, Brooklyn Arts Exchange in Brooklyn, into a literal performance area on the second floor. So we're using the theater space, another space, the hallway, the bathroom, as installation performance.
My God.
So please come out and see it. Last night was the premiere. It was incredible. We take it in groups of 10 people that migrate through the space and end up in one big space called the parlor room, in which we look at how information is passed generations through this kind of spiritual ramification. So it's an incredible opportunity to look at work as a collective, two African American women looking at transatlantic memories that are held and not often talked about or even iterated, but information that just comes as a response, things that we just naturally kind of do. So we've blown those images and gestures open and then deconstructed them inside of the work. So that's what I'm working on, and it goes until Sunday.
Oh, that's wonderful. May you be blessed to take it around the world.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to own that.
Yes.
I want to own that.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
I do see it, definitely. We really, I know that there's audiences in everywhere. Czechoslovakia, in Kenya, Tanzania. You just came back from Tanzania.
Yeah, I did.
How long were you there?
Well, I went twice on a suitcase fund. I was awarded a suitcase fund through New York Live Arts.
Excellent.
And I'm honored to have been a representation of the United States, of New York City, to Tanzania. I went twice. I went in May of 2013 and then went again in September, October, and created work there and worked with some of the artists in Tanzania. And it was just incredible. I joined forces with a woman, Rachel Kessie, who belongs to Muda Africa, Music Dance Africa, and also created her own festival and school for artists. For the first time, artists can really realize themselves as artists and really take root and perform all over Africa, not just East Africa, but West Africa. And that particular festival is called Time to Dance.
Time to Dance, yes.
Rachel Kessie. So she's an incredible contact.
How do you spell her last name?
Kessi.
Okay.
Rachel Kessie.
Beautiful.
So I had an opportunity to do work in Tanzania and still realizing that work and still connected with that work. And it's been brilliant. It's a great opportunity to connect forces with Africa.
Oh, it is. It certainly is. That's right.
So
bridging the communication.
Right, global sustainability.
That's right.
Through our work.
That's right.
Not just talking about it, but really doing it.
That's what we need.
Absolutely.
It in reality. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm honored to talk about it, in Harlem.
So how are you, we often have matriarchal tendencies, and we take our family like this, and we do the juggernaut dance.
Yeah.
You know, tell me a little bit about this beautiful family of yours.
Well, you know, we're an artist family, truly. My oldest daughter is a visual artist. Her and her man just had a beautiful baby, Mia Isis Solar Laleda.
Oh, congratulations.
She's 2 years old, so we're grandparents.
Oh, that's very nice.
And our second daughter, Zipporah Roney, is an aerialist, and she's joined forces with 2 other aerialists in Brooklyn, New York.
Wow.
So she's an incredible artist who I'm going to pull in slowly. She's doing her thing, though, so I got to let her do her thing and realize her work.
I can just see her in the sky with,
Right. She does all kind of incredible work. And then then Makeda Roney, our youngest of 3 girls, is a ballerina and dances with Dance Theater of Harlem. And just got accepted into a residency program at Joffrey Ballet in Chicago.
Oh, congratulations.
She just went ahead and did a GoFundMe. So please go on, because black ballerinas, as you know, are very, they're not supported. And so she created a online GoFundMe to help her get to Chicago to do her work. And she's raised, I think now, $3,000. Her goal was $4,000.
Yes.
She's a mentee of Misty Copeland, one of the world's most famous black ballerinas at the American Ballet Theater.
Oh my God.
So ABT, yes, and Makeda just did a huge, what was it, Tony? She did with TLC. She did she filled in for Misty Copeland.
On the rehearsals.
Thank you.
Excellent.
See, that's why we have family.
That's
on rehearsals, because I'll forget. Exactly. So she's doing a great job, too. And then, of course, little man here, Kojo Roney. So between Antoine and I, you know, we are like we're a matrix together.
Yes.
And we believe in the voice of art and the voice that comes through the ethereal waters of time, and we support that, and we pray for that continued inspiration and continued support from our family, and our family is our community, you know, as well as our own family.
That's right.
So with Antoine, myself, and Wallace, and my grandmother, who was the first African-American woman to have a contract with RKO Studios in 1920.
Wow. Say her name.
Her name is Marguerite Freddie Robinson Chapman.
Wow.
She's in the Black Book. You know, Duke Ellington used to come by my house. And,
did he?
That's right.
Oh my God, he was to us larger than life. What was he like?
Well, I was a baby, so he just was a friend to me. I mean, he was just a friend. So I didn't know that he was Duke Ellington or Cab Calloway. They would come by the house, and Ethel Waters is my mother's godmother. So my grandmother was very, very connected. And I'm just doing what she did in the 20s. Now I'm carrying on that legacy. So you said it's a
matriarchal, yes.
Can I tell a story?
Yes, sir.
One time we were
Mr. Antoine.
We were listening to some music, and saxophone came on and played, and his grandmother said, "Who is that?" And we said, "Oh, that's Eric Dolphy." She said, "Oh, little Eric." She knew Eric's family and mother. They were close friends, and they raised Eric Dolphy.
Oh my God!
Every time we talk about somebody, and or her grandfather would say, "Oh yeah, Johnny Hodges was my best friend. I sure miss Johnny Hodges." We was cleaning the house one day, and we went under the kitchen sink, and we were getting ready to throw away this old, container of olive oil and Honey, we call her Honey. She said, "Don't throw that away. Ethel Waters gave that to me."
Oh.
She kept it all these years. A whole container of olive oil.
I love it. I think it's beautiful. That's amazing. Yes. Yeah, I'm so glad you all came to talk about these things, because I would not have known.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had a clue, about the magic.
Well, it's important to feel like you're important through other people.
Yes.
Sometimes you keep these stories to yourself, or you keep these stories to, a close-knit array of people. And to feel like people want to hear them is important.
It is.
To just voice them and put them into the air again, like Antoine did with Jackie, and just blow that horn across, woof, and it just goes into space. And so it's not really about your own self-importance. It's really about the importance of the nation, of humanity, and knowing that story heals humanity. Like you were saying as well, the healing of a star.
That's right.
And when you look up, you can think, wow, like I see that star. And that star traveled, hundreds of thousands of lifetimes to this universe.
That's
and
right.
that you get a chance in your life to look at that star that was 100,000-year-old star
That's
that
right.
traveled to the space in which you are now gazing at.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
It is.
And these are the stories.
That's right.
But sometimes we don't remember that.
That's
we don't
right.
think of ourselves in that universal form.
Well, our brother Neil deGrasse Tyson says that we are actually made of that which you speak of.
Absolutely.
We're made of stars. We're made of star stuff. And, all of that light.
Absolutely.
Fire. It's fire, and it's healing, and it's whole, and it's wonderful, Aren't we special?
Yeah.
And so every time we tell these stories, we shine even more, It's just brilliant. And we give a healing, and we call the ancestors, and they come to us, and they give us inspiration and love. And it's a really good thing.
And what you're doing is really great, because you get to hear the voice of Harlem, which historically is a star-filled voice.
Oh my God, isn't it?
Oh my God, so thank you.
Oh.
Every time I see you, I always think about the thing that connects me with this radio station is your voice.
Oh, how beautiful.
I'm trying to match it now.
Oh, good. I'm with that energy.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
right?
that's so wonderful.
It's so healing.
Oh, that's good. It's kind of like your instruments or your tone and the movement, and the wave. And I'm honored to be in that tradition.
We're honored.
Oh, this is so good. And I know a little bit of Jackie's music is right there.
You hear it?
Ooh. Yeah.
All that stuff Jackie's playing?
Yeah, that's him. Absolutely. He's still with us.
Absolutely.
Still loving us and still showing us little, star stuff.
That's right. On the ceiling, upside down.
Absolutely. Oh, boy. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank God.
Yeah.
I wanted this for a long time.
I know. We're honored.
I'm so glad. And I have more in mind for us. So we'll talk about everything we have to do, because we got a space in Harlem that we can share all of this good stuff. So we'll make all the appropriate arrangements. Thank you. Oh, Cara. Yes, indeed. It's good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, too.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome. A little bit more music as we make this transition to Essence and Rhythm with Nelson Radames Rodriguez. Your sister Daia. Smile, just 10 feet wide. Thank you. Lots of love. Ooh, boy.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York. Whcr 90.3 FM, New York.
「